simply because wako hoda we're tasty what is on the grassroots before since 2012. And then again, we're going to touch on the U.S. relation with us concerning visa applications and all that. And then we'll look at what you may call Trans-African Tourism and Unity, the 39 African countries you intend driving, to them to see us have free visa and all that. But my answer here, the visa issue, because you posted on your social media handle that will 5-year visa expire or come back renew you're single entry for 3 months and so we out to honor but you ukwaya the ma na reality dawn on you, right?
Okay, me that say a team for so ya chom a for so ya chom could you say no me to kwampa na me third 5-year visa in January this year. But now me need adaje to go and renew it until I'm say March go on. I mean the 2 we say omo and renew and mame. Na last week no mo send them email say me for my passport na me beje, and me the passport no call and no na omo the breme. Me hemu na bosome miensa. Next I single entry nature say udi rema eba unsent me and remove this also akoche visa for me who me na kakra eja obia for the last 21 years me co US eba me overstay that na me a renewal for 5 years or mama me 3 months me the room eba me and this visa ko a visa for. But apparently, not a news are better who say you're going to say on my policy changes, but I didn't even know because of campaign to travel to 39 countries. So until a lot of meetings, until my friend Ubina watch move from the embassy say, oh, say and a policy for Fraba. Enti obi bia when even we minister kwa na o the ordinary passport kwa 3 months na de be ma we presenter kujo preko o the passport kwa 3 months na de be ma single entry. Now one of the reasons omoye and say according to them almost Ghana for do na eje visa no kwa and mosome ana emfia ye de ma omo no omotenemu e ma no broso just say overstay into the percent or more percentage or more allow for every country into country we are no my for eco room now or more overstay percentage of that on it drew 15% yeah now they don't mind but they brought 15% in terms of the ratio say bia nipa 2000 bosoma mi say mu and visa busuma miensa no emu 20% answer back to Ghana na say ya violate omo nhehye ne omo mra enti based on that no asotwe a omo de twe Ghana no that is one of the reasons da omo chire mu a say Ghana buy etu anamo na ohwe na omo etu kwan ekwa America omo nkotine mu nche eno na kojo eme na kakra obi a tie bibi man mu ha na sebe wadamfo bi ana onua bi ana tiefo bi ana ahwefo bi ajo mo visa kwa America ablakwa de nko obedi nechi akoye se obeba back and asede. I mean practically it's not even possible for any country to say oh manfo a omo ko sa kuri mu hwe na omomra onya kroko dru America obo okwa na address kura wa changing address wa changing the telephone number obo okwa ifie for kura efre na obo nsanka no enam say wa kodru na nyoma entimi to to yi enti na so ayeshi enti to put that burden on the government of Ghana now I felt say clearly no I mean na kakra minia enti minia na
my visa some way does it lie with Ghana specifically the foreign ministry to be monitoring omo manfua omo tu kwan.
Memma wa no nsikojo. It doesn't. Obi free Ghana eko do abrochia. To even track the person is difficult. Into wa kroni ya odia obi oye hoho aba no. When I say all the systems in place to make sure say imagine galamsey for ya mobile they don't even have residency permits. Na yes China enhwema momu overstay. Onya kroko she dum on a fin or a Caribbean or Chinese government no be the who say your friends the citizen be Ghana Caribbean illegal mining. It is Ghana for ya said there to find out wherever they are and deport them or prosecute them and stop galamsey. In the case of America, we don't have the capacity. It rests with the government of America to find illegal migrants and deport them or whatever they want to do. But policies could do. Say among us, America for the Omaya year that affect you. Obi knew how I year that because in Epokra he said in Shotogumu, the sea does not reject rainfall, coming into the sea. And that is why America is seeking to expand trade all over the world. Enti me a businessman. So over me 3 months single entry. I would look at other alternatives. Because to me every 3 months via must me pay American visa. Many wadaje. And secondly, administrative cost no cry as a businessman no. It doesn't make sense. So every 3 months be a visa for from. And then also these days, to even get a date. So ubenya date on their calendar to even put in your applications. So, you say, so every crowd to be applied by or more head date for about a year, no munya date.
Yeah.
And all of these challenges. Enti omo ebe affect you. But of course, it has some effects on us. Your money and kola Ghana for omo pese omo kosuapon in America. Omo this arrangement affects them. Omo per F1 visas. Regularly they would have to apply because almost students bebre ekwa omo person member back to Ghana. So when I call a student no I on government scholarship and no dear a buying ever kwanya obetimi e dey atwena so because most of them are bonded. Maybe waje bond say a buying the between school fees America, but oba be ye adwuma wo baby ana oye adwuma no obi assign a guarantee ama no enti onya kro eko on government scholarship no on ma and Ghana buying ebetima hwe onia or guarantee ma no the pressure and now so trebi or the tone so no onya kro so be say I say wako see mo kan say awawa
yes
amo ugo see awawa mo bi na say onya kro betria kai so utua say wa wo see awawa no ona ye be twa so
yeah
for students who are on government scholarship omode aban e wo kwan a efa so a obetimi e de omaba because they know where they are and there are people who guaranteed but omo call for tourism say me ko hwemani so ade keke na masaba and our businesses now omo koya omo overstay and no it's entirely up to the American government to deal with it.
Is it the same thing entirely to Ghanaians to know say mama American visa say omra memo whether Ghana, Nigeria or wherever na say overstay me to me and then I the same restriction because I'm looking at the press release coming from Ministry of Foreign Affairs talking about or responding to the US visa restriction issues and there's more of justification to tell us as of even for instance January 2025 to date issue almost about 40,648 visas. I mean issue from Ghana missions in Washington DC and New York and out of this 28,626 are multiple entries visas to Ghana. What is trying to tell us and I said for Ghana we are still heading to that agreement, that relationship that we have. But in the press statement, what is the missing link there is the fact that you raised. The numbers now stay a particular country a broswa yebema or cut off no. Ghana, what to Kwanyache, do we have such a cut off for even people we give visas to missions in UK and US coming to Ghana. Yes, you cut-off point for these people. Yes, you bit me so I can be bizarre.
Absolutely. Krobia try to control immigration. And they try to control it in a manner say your population will not be overwhelmed. And for example, Saudi Arabia for Hajj, who's a country be our quota. Because you got traffic situation, overcrowding, etc. Even with the US embassy, any other foreign embassy they have quotas. Say this month, visa says NSA ye issue. Anything I want to say, obi want the papers in the BBI genuinely, but ye deny no. Simply because they are trying to control their quotas, and they will deny you and give you flimsy excuses. You are working here, you can demonstrate that you are working, but they do that. So it's not really. So in terms of Ghana also has that, as a country that wants to control migration. And indeed, the Americans are also overstay. They don't, take the necessary steps to make sure say residency permit and ABBI say in krata what I think needs to be done is say assembly new buy this kind of nature. And they should sit behind closed doors and tidy things up and sort this out. Because they're trying to say America has an interest here. They trade with us. We also trade with them. That trade volume is over $2 billion. Just the trade volume. They call America gold, cocoa, near there. And the baha quantifier is over $2 billion. And Omaya open inflows into your country by way of revenue. You don't want to jeopardize this, trade relationship. And then also we've cooperated with America. We've done things together on many other things that we feel say they should focus on the bigger picture. Trump na bana sebi or Serena 1 year no koka sebi nenkwasi asem. Hwenu echi ade akoye Liberian president ne Senegalese president about on China. I don't know whether you've seen the video.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I can send it to you. Omaba on China, Liberian president said he speaks good English. Where did he go to school? Clearly disrespectful. And as a president, Kurado, you should know from your briefing, say, Liberia is an English-speaking country. All right, but that is Trump for you. As new law, Abana or Nyoma. 4 years in Chenaba. He's in his last 4 years. So to me, working things out amicably. Then empire na omo akwantufoɔ ɛsɛ ɔmo bɔ sɛ president bi bɛba America ɔno ne nhyehyɛ no ɛbɛboa ɔna ɔmo yɛ migrants.
Na obisa saa no is not interesting say the same Liberia now obisa so or can good English I didn't know the Americans who really colonized them. I mean that space.
Absolutely, a lot of Liberians were descendants of slaves who were brought in from America. But it tells you how ignorant the American president is. Say as a sitting president, you haven't read your briefing. My your officers would do, sort of a profile, a briefing of the people who are coming to you, for you to go through and have a clear understanding. As I mean, before you come on air, who producers, they've given you topics, etc. So in every country, the president is supposed to be on top of his job. But clearly with Trump, it's a different ball game. Okay.
Ras, mami bisa sasem we quick one before I call other matters and so on. Sadia America for should it be say a bet was watcher? Can other countries take advantage of the situation and or Ghanaians themselves to take advantage of? I mean, there's where they can then refocus and direct their attention to other countries where they can get all these visas and then move in terms of business, school, and everything.
This is what some of us have been championing, and that is why I am passionate about ye bibi my say abom. You say it's Enti Ghana for ne, Togo for ne, Mali for ne, Nigeria ne, South Africa. If we have a borderless Africa, obi bia or Ghana, otimi ko Namibia, otimi ko Morocco, otimi ko Algeria, ekodi dwa na okoye bibia. Ebeboyen the over reliance on the Westerners and a more omodesha omutirimu say they can do anything and everything in Africa and get away with it. Meanwhile, Africa is really the place to be in terms of resources. They need us more. Could you read my lips? They need us more than we need them. Because they want resources now. Almost no more they can not find resources because they want to build their industries, etc. They want to have chocolates, etc. In education, for instance, Asia, has good quality education. Africa, there are so many countries in Africa, including our own country. We don't even appreciate the quality of education that we have here. But people across Africa respect Ghana a lot. It's President Mugabe, the late President Mugabe of Zimbabwe. Yeah. He went to training college in Ghana. And there are several other leaders who studied here. Uko school and on Jeze, Sebi Wabon. And Uko school Asia, and on Jeze, Untimi and rise it to be whoever you want to be. The former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Nashiru, he studied in Malaysia to become a governor of the Bank of Ghana. All right? In the America Potia, Obekonona, Ebe Mao, Ebe Chese, we are guy, we are chef. And on Jerry, it's just an opportunity. But so Omuma Emwaye Dia, let's look at alternatives, especially so when several countries are open to us. And no kojo in Africa. For a South African to leave South Africa to Nigeria, the person has more headaches than for that person to leave South Africa to Istanbul in Turkey. It must not be so. Okay? And so, let's say you're mindful, especially Ejodifone, Esuku, Nkwala, and then Manten and Mabawa. They should look at alternatives. And there are places where the education quality is very, very good and the tuition is cheaper.
Okay. My member, a quick one, your trip, no, na Femira Blekuma North, name bidding common and found we a quick one. On the 18th of August, you're doing a road trip, to 39 African, countries. Road trip? Another more for flight.
Debbie. So, yeah, for flights, I'm not sure we would have been talking about this.
Road trip.
Because if we are picking flights, it's no news. But if we're driving from Accra, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, all the way to Southern Africa, Lesotho, Namibia, Mozambique, Botswana, Eswatini, South Africa, Efimwa, Akko, Eastern Africa, Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania, Kenya, Northern Africa, especially Algeria and Morocco, Mauritania, Senegal, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast. It's very exciting. And Nientia ye pese ye tusa anamui ene asema visa asema ya keka ho asem sisia. Kojo Africa, mami borrow from Akufo-Addo, and I hope he would forgive me. Africa nye here mai. Africa ye continent ye wosika bebre, but enam say amamo bone ye mpanyimfo ye mindful ebunti. Ye nkrofo ho chiro mo. Because I've been to 85 countries around the world. I do not think, seeing what I've seen, say, any African should leave the shores of Africa and go for a greener pasture in Europe or North America. I don't think so. Simply because everything we need is here, whether it's the weather, whether it's the resources. The missing link is Amamono. In the campaign, so we're going to be meeting presidents and prime ministers all over these 39 countries, encouraging them to implement the visa-free policy for all Africans. Say uye bibinia uye African, utukwae ako Algeria, enuko anse ukoje visa. Utukwae ako Botswana, kojo Cameroon haya Yes, you have visa. I mean, it's so stressful. Now, Sebe, yeah, Europe, near America, near Canada, yes, stress here. Yeah, and because I am featuring so. Yes, I call stress more. And we want these restrictions to go so that our people can be free, our people can explore other opportunities, either for studies, for events and tourism, or for business. I'll give you one example. Look at Morocco. Morocco is the highest producer of fertilizer in Africa. I don't see why we should be going to Russia and Brazil to bring fertilizer when Morocco has it, right? And we can get a lot from Morocco. Look at Nigeria, Lagos. Kojo, the population of Lagos is over 30 million. Ghana na ye kaboma any Nigeria crew back population. I didn't think as a country strategically, Yenka said, look, we want to be the food basket not just of Ghana but Nigeria, and take advantage of that market. Say ammonia bedo, say bayirene bedo, say there, and be sure we are the ones supplying that to Nigeria. And look at the revenue we can get from that. ABI Nigeria also say, look, we are the big brothers, we have enough land, we can supply sugar to the whole of West Africa. And we begin to trade, we begin to take advantage, we begin to supply, and make sure that the economies of countries in Africa grow.
Okay. All right. And send Abeko Krano.